Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we've got a video in our Collecting a Battalion series. And so before we get into the main video, let's have a chat about what this series is all about and what we are hoping to achieve with it. So to do so, I think it's best that we explain what a War Scroll Battalion is first of all. A War Scroll Battalion is a special formation comprised of various units that by taking will give you access to additional abilities for the units inside said War Scroll Battalion in-game. Why are we doing what we are doing? So, collecting a battalion can be a great way to collect to a theme. It gives you a goal to strive towards and an endpoint to reach. By doing so, you can get bonuses for playing with models that thematically go together and a chance potentially to try out models you might not otherwise take because they might not be optimal outside of the battalion. What's the plan with this series though? And so what we're going to do is we're going to try and build an army focusing around the battalion. We're going to thematically build upon the battalion if required. Some battalions don't make up a full 2,000 point army, so we're going to expand upon them thematically, and we will also give ourselves a framework to set an end goal within. So with that all out the way, let's get into the meat of this and we'll go into the video proper right now. Today we are going to be looking at a battalion from the Cities of Sigmar faction, in particular the subfaction Greywater Fastness, specific subfaction known as the Greywater Artillery Battery. So first of all, to understand a little bit about this, we need to look at Cities first and understand why it's specific to its subfaction. So, Cities is split up into a number of different subfactions in the army. These each form the allegiance for a particular city in the mortal realms, each coming from either Giran, the realm of life, or Ashi, the realm of fire. In the case of Hammerhall, you can pick which one you want to come from. However, all the battalions inside Cities of Sigmar are locked to a particular city because they require keyword units from that city. So, the Greywater Artillery Battery is only available inside Greywater Fastness because everything has the Greywater Fastness keyword. So let's get looking at the battalion and see where we start. So the organisation of this battalion is 1 Greywater Fastness Cogsmith and 2 to 4 Greywater Fastness Hellstrom rocket batteries, or Greywater Fastness Hellblaster volley guns in any combination. The ability we get from this is in your shooting phase in the first battle round, friendly war machines from this battalion can shoot twice if they are within 6 inch of a friendly hero from this battalion and are not within 3 inch of enemy units. So this is a really cool sort of rule. It allows us to do a little bit more shooting in the first turn provided we have been locked up. So looking at what we get in this battalion and looking at the idea of what I guess Greywater Fastness is all about, we get the idea that we're going to have an army that's sort of all very heavily focused on artillery and sort of at odds with the realm of life itself. Looking into the army list that we've built, we've taken these ideas and we've sort of tried to put them into an army list. I've also decided to take a Mercenary Company as well, the Black Smoke Battery. Why? Well, I think this Mercenary Company just gives us some cool different sort of war machines to work with. I've tried to cram in every different war machine I possibly can into the army because why not? This is Greywater Fastness, let's do it. But also, mercenary companies are just something really interesting to me. I think they're a really big unexplored sort of thing in Age of Sigmar. I might go into them in more detail and maybe some videos later, but I want to see how the GHB or General's Handbook treats them and whether or not they're going to stay in the game before I decide to do any more content focusing around them in a list building sort of way. So let's get into our list. And so for leaders, we've got a Rune Lord as our general, and he's got the command trait Drill Master. Drill Master allows you to get reroll 1s to hit on some shooting units around him, which is pretty cool. This goes really well because we're going to be having a lot of pluses to hit, which means most of our stuff is going to be like 3s and 2s, rerolling to hit if they get all the buffs off on them. It's a great start to an army. He also has a cool ability for Rune Law, which he can add +1 to hit for a war machine that's near him, so long as enemies aren't nearby. So this is just another one of those pluses to hit I'm talking about already. For the General's Adjutant, we've taken a Sorceress. Now, we've taken some Dark Elves, and I thought the Dark Elves sort of fit the theme more than Battle Mages. because anything with like that much industry and crafting that much stuff like Grey Water Fastness, and it is so opposed to its realm, definitely has some dark, shadowy corners in it. So I definitely thought the Dark Elves were the right way to go to get wizards in the army. She's going to be the General's Adjutant, and she's going to have the spell Eroding Blast. So what this will do is this allows you to pick a piece of terrain and effectively roll a dice for every model within 1 inch of that piece of terrain, and on a 5+ to take a mortal wound. This is great for clearing some hordes, and really great if you can get her there for getting rid of some Sylvaneth out of their forests. It's a great threat piece to have in the army for Sylvaneth, mainly because Sylvaneth are going to be able to avoid a lot of our other stuff in the army, so we need to be able to do this. Preferably, maybe in some other alterations of this list, I might try and get another wizard in there with Eroding Blast as well, just for some contingency, but I couldn't fit it in this list at current, but I think I can rejig it around to sort of get it working. We're then going to take a Cogsmith, and he's going to have the artifact Hypersnare Seeds. So he's going to stick around with the War Machines a lot because he sort of heals them up, but Hypersnare Seeds is a really cool artifact in that if a unit declares a charge with an 8 inch of him, he can roll a dice on a 5+ they can't actually charge. This can come in real clutch and might just save those artillery pieces for that 1 extra turn so they can blow something off. It could be really, really powerful if it goes off at the right time, and I just think it's a nice tool piece to have sort of going off. The last hero I want to take is the big guy and the steam tank with Commander. I don't think I could have made this list without a steam tank in it in some variation. I just think the steam tank commander is pretty darn cool. He can sort of self-buff himself, and I've also given him the artifact Wander Restoration, so this way he can heal a wound on himself or on other units nearby as well, if need be. But mostly it's probably going to be healing on himself. He's pretty survivable, he's got a good save, he will drop down to mortal wounds pretty easy, but that's sort of the price we're paying. We're trying to go with all this theme here, and I mean, come on, we're playing Grey Water Fastness, we want a steam tank. For battle line, I've chosen to go with 10 Freeguild handgunners. They get a lot of buffs inside the city, so we're definitely taking them. 10 Freeguild Guard are going to be the Honoured Retinue for the Rune Lord. We sort of had to drop them down from handgunners to guard, we just couldn't fit the points in. And same way I've got Dread Spears instead of Dark Shards, which will probably fit the idea of the army most, but these units can also double as screens. The reason why I've gone for the Honoured Retinue on the Freeguild Guard over the unit of Dread Spears is because the Dread Spears are already going to be sort of getting sacrificed for the Sorceress, and we don't want to be double dipping into that unit, because otherwise it's going to get reduced really, really quick and not be useful to us quite quickly. The last battle line unit I've chosen to take in the army is 20 Iron Drakes. So Iron Drakes have got so much shooting potential, they're massively devastating, and this is a big reason why I've got the Rune Lord as well, because he's going to buff them up. They're going to just shred things when they get into the fight and are really going to do some damage. This is one of our big punchy units that can continue fighting and continue shooting late in the game. We do need some things to get them moving around the table though, and we'll get into that later. So the first other units, we're going to get into talking about the Black Smoke Battery first before we go into all our artillery. So we've got 3 units inside the Black Smoke Artillery Battery, and effectively these Gyrocopters here allow us to spot for the war machines in the thing and then give them some buffs. So we're taking 3 Gyrocopters. Gyrocopters are just a fantastic unit, and they can do quite a bit of damage to like lightly armoured hordes, and that's something we sort of do lack within this army, so very welcome indeed. They're also flying as well, so that's a great thing for, once again, Sylvaneth are going to be a hard matchup for this army because they can just hide in their forest, but the Gyrocopters can flush them out with those steam cannons. So to note as well, we've got 3 different allied units, so this means we do need to have at least 12 units in the army, which we do. So there's a reason why we've got so many units in the army, but it was never really an issue to try and fit these units in anyway, because we've got all the different artillery pieces, so the units sort of just rack up anyway. And then we're taking 1 cannon, 1 organ gun in the Black Smoke Battery. Why we're taking both? Well, I just wanted to get, like I was saying, I want to get all the different artillery pieces in the force, so I took 1 cannon, 1 organ gun. Also, points did sort of mean this is how I had to go take the expensive one, but I had to take the cheaper one. We've then got our Battalion in Greywater Artillery Company, and that's going to include the Hellblaster volley gun and the Hellstrom rocket battery, and of course the Cogsmith. So this is going to be cool. The Hellblaster volley gun and Hellstrom rocket battery can shoot in the first turn. The rocket battery doesn't necessarily need to move, but the Hellblaster might need some help getting up close. And the way we're going to do this is actually by taking the Soulscream Bridge in the army. Now, like, this furthers the idea of why I've been taking the Sorceress in the list, but I can explain it narratively, but you really do need the Sorceress in there to get that +2 to cast from sacrificing a Dread Spear. So it makes this a 6 to cast, because this is going to ensure that our Organ Gun and our Hellblaster volley gun and our Iron Drakes can get in range. We've taken an extra command point just for reasons, but this also means the Rune Lord can buff a couple of units at the same time, or the Steam Tank can be using his own command abilities, etc. There are some issues with this list, and I'll be working to fix them. I might come up with another list later, but that'll probably appear in like the List Diary series. I'm actually interested to get this on the table and see how it works, and see if I can make a Greywater Artillery Company list sort of work. It's an interesting list, and I definitely think it has its strong and weak matchups, but I'm interested to see how it goes in the future. But that's it for the list. Thank you all for watching. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any thoughts or ideas on the video you've just seen, please leave them down in the comments down below, and also don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Your support is so much appreciated, and I hope we can keep on providing some sort of content for you guys to keep enjoying. If you have any thoughts or ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Also, special thank you to all the patrons who are supporting the channel and helping it grow and grow and grow. Special thank you go to our Sinful Guard Militia, Christian Weir, Philip Ward and Dwight Crow. Also, Sinful Free Good Regiment member, James. You can help support the channel on Patreon. It'll be down in the description down below. You can also join our Discord server and come along and chat in the Discord with me and other members of our cool little community. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a nice day. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey.